is the season of celebration, and for a lot of folks that means holiday Christmas trees. And really this year it's always good to focus on 4 points that help to have that be a success. First of all, choosing a live tree. There's a lot to be said about picking this one, not that one. What you really want is a fresh, very flexible tree. So we encourage people to just get up close and personal and grab the tree. If it bends and twists in your hand without breaking off, that's a good sign, and you want to make sure you do that. Another thing is to pick the whole tree up and drop the butt on the ground. If a few old brown needles fall out, that's fine. But if some bright green needles fall off the tree, move on to the next tree. So there's just a couple quick tips there on picking out that tree. Then after buying the tree, you're going to bring it home, and the first thing you want to do is use a bow saw and cut off 1 inch of wood at the base of the tree. Immediately after cutting it off, you want to plunk it into a 5-gallon bucket of water on the north side of the house. That way it will be able to absorb some water and be fresher once you bring it indoors. More importantly is then once you set it up in the home, make sure you keep it away from any drafts. And probably the worst draft is the forced air heater that is blowing some hot air on the tree and drying it out. So I want to make sure we avoid that. Even before you do that, you want to use a tape measure and pick out a place for this tree to be set up. Quite often people underestimate how large a tree is when you put it up in the home. A lot of these trees are 7 feet tall and 4 feet wide. And really, that's about the size of a couch if you put it up vertically. So it's going to take up a fair amount of the space on the inside of your home. It probably means moving a chair out and certainly just making room for the tree. Once it's inside the home, again, making sure that it's away from a forced air heating vent, but also making sure that the reservoir for the tree is filled with clean, fresh water. There's actually been some research at the University of Nebraska, Lincoln, to indicate that any additives you might want to put in the tree, like sugar and floral preservatives and pennies and all kinds of other things, don't work. In fact, they actually make the tree less fresh. So just fresh water is the best thing, making sure that that's a part of the overall routine. And at first, you might want to really need to add that water almost daily, because the tree is going to be absorbing it when it gets adjusted to its new home indoors. Okay, and then after the holidays, we can reuse or recycle that tree. If the town you live in has a Christmas tree recycling program where they take it to a city park and they run it through a wood chipper and use all of that wood chip for trail cover in the city park, that's great. Or you might want to make use of it yourself. It's simple to use a hatchet and cut off the boughs into little pieces and use them to cover up tender perennials. Or you could just lay it down by the bird feeder and use it for protection, for shelter, for songbirds that might come by and visit the tree. Regardless of how you use it, it's best to recycle it and reuse it in the landscape, either in the city's landscape or in your landscape at home. If you put all of these practices into place, you'll have a safe and enjoyable holiday season.